The rain slicked the streets in a way that made the city seem smaller, quieter, almost fragile, like it was holding its breath. Amid the gray, a lone man pushed a mop bucket across the polished floors of the gleaming corporate building, his uniform soaked from the drizzle that clung to his coat. To anyone walking past, he was just another janitor, a tired, overworked man who cleaned what no one noticed and left when no one was watching. But today, the world was about to notice him in a way he could never have imagined. Before I continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the hidden courage in everyday people, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, Soul Speak Stories, because this story will remind you that heroes come in all forms. His name was Daniel Harper, and he had learned long ago that life didn't hand out second chances easily. A single father, he spent his nights in a tiny apartment tucked above a bustling diner, listening to the soft breathing of his 10-year-old daughter, Emma, as she dreamt of worlds he had never been able to give her. Daniel's hands were rough from years of work, his back a little too stiff, and his heart a little too cautious, but he carried within him a quiet resilience that even he underestimated. Cleaning floors was far from glamorous, and yet it was the life he had carved out for his daughter, the life he fought for silently, like so many ordinary men and women do. The building he worked in was known for its high-profile tenants, including government officials and retired military officers who occasionally came for private meetings. On this rainy Tuesday, Daniel found himself wiping down the marble floors of the lobby when a tall man in a crisp navy uniform approached him, the glint of metals catching the fluorescent light. This man was Admiral Samuel Rourke, a decorated Navy SEAL officer whose reputation preceded him. The kind of man whose name alone could make headlines. Yet, here he was, smiling down at Daniel with a mixture of curiosity and mischief. "What's your call sign?" the Admiral asked lightly, leaning on the edge of the counter. He spoke as if expecting a standard, humorous response, the kind of banter familiar in military circles. Daniel looked up, mop paused mid-stroke, and blinked. "Call sign?" he repeated, unsure if the question was serious. "I'm just me," he replied, shrugging. He had never been part of the military, never served in any branch. He didn't even know why the man was talking to him. The Admiral chuckled, a deep, resonant sound that seemed to echo off the marble walls. He was used to bravado, to hearing heroic stories, to shaking hands with men who had flown into combat zones with courage etched into their bones. But there was something different in Daniel's eyes. Something steady, unassuming, that made him pause. "Try me," he said. "If you had to have one, what would it be?" Daniel smiled faintly, a little embarrassed, brushing a damp strand of hair from his forehead. The question felt absurd in the grand scheme of the world, absurd against the medals and stories the Admiral carried. But then, without thinking, without pretense, he said it, "Lone Eagle." For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, Daniel saw it. Admiral Rourke froze, the corners of his mouth tightening, his usually commanding presence tempered by disbelief. "Lone Eagle," he repeated, his voice quieter now, almost reverent. Daniel's heart sank. He hadn't realized he had chosen a name that resonated so deeply with the man before him. The Admiral stepped closer, his gaze piercing. "Do you know what that means?" he asked, and Daniel shook his head. "It's a call sign, one that was retired years ago."